All right. So, what's going on, everybody? It has been a a long time. So, what's going on, strangers? So, listen. A couple of you were asking, and you wanted to know different things, and you wanted to know different ways that you can expand on the whole crawl technique, right? All right. So, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna expand on it, but real quick, I want to just be able to just go over some of the sort of a recap, right? Now, of course, the strengthening of especially your ring finger and your pinky finger to be able to switch, okay? That's gonna be key. That's gonna be one of the keys, okay? And especially, you know what I'm saying, the right? So this is why in one of my previous videos I did an exercise that went like this. So I did an exercise like that because what we were trying to do is we were really trying to really expand our ability to strengthen these fingers, okay? So that's the first key is, strengthening the fingers to be able to switch, okay? Like I said, doing that exercise, right? Now, also, you're going to want to know the the chord shape, okay? And so I want to expand on that real quick. So, for instance, when you're playing a chord, let's say you're playing this passage, right? Simple and, very common gospel passage, right? Now, some people like to vary it and go, so taking that chord, right? So that particular chord, and I'm in the key of D flat, okay? So I'm taking the 2 chord, but it is a half diminished chord. Why is that? Because so if we're in the key of D flat, the 2 chord would be E flat minor, but E flat minor would go like this: E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, okay? But we're not using the B flat, we're lowering that B flat. So that would make it half diminished. So the chord would be E flat, G flat, A, right? And D flat, okay? Now some might call it B double flat, but but we're not gonna get too technical here. All right. So that's the chord shape, okay? So knowing how the chord is shaped, right? And then knowing it in all of its inversions. So what I mean, so that's root position, right? So I'm gonna start right here. Right? So right? Right? And then that's how people use like split. Right? And then so now what we're gonna do is, right, we're going to take and I like to really just take three notes, okay, 3 of those notes of the chord. So instead of going instead of going like this, what we're gonna do is the crawl, right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to take the 3 note chord, okay? So I'm just spelling it on descending: D flat, A, G flat, B natural, A flat, F, then back to this chord. it's the inversion. A, G flat, E flat, okay? So okay, so that's what I usually like to do. Now, all I did was I took that chord, right? That's the first chord, that 2 chord. Now, the second chord, right? Because we're going to be switching between 2 chords, okay? 2 chords. It is this chord right here, right? E flat, half diminished, and we're going to do a diminished chord. It's a D diminished. So, all right. So when my all right, or F diminished, okay? So in my pedals, I'm playing an E flat, F bass, then G flat, then back to the 5, because that's where we want to land, okay? So we're taking those chords, but we are just dividing them up. What do I mean? So instead of taking the whole chord, you're just taking 2 notes. So G flat, D flat, E flat, A. Then, so that's the first chord. I just broke it up. Now we're gonna take that F diminished chord, right, or D diminished, okay, what have you. Same. So instead of playing this, the whole chord, which would be D, F, A flat, and B, we're going just playing the F and the B, and then D and A flat. So it's like, you're really playing like tritones. So not here, but I'm talking about the second chord. Then the last one, we're playing on this chord. Okay, so the third chord would be the same as the first, but I'm just starting in another inversion. So E flat, A, G flat, and A. Okay, but it's an octave lower. Now I like to do that, so because for me, it goes to that last chord, that last chord that I want to land perfectly. Okay, so. It just goes there perfectly. That's why I use that lower A, okay? Personal preference. So that's what you're going to be doing in your right hand, okay? So I'll do it one more time. I'll do it in context, and then I'm going to slow it down. So. And of course you can put that D flat in there, okay? One more time. Okay, so now what are we going to be doing in our left hand? Well, since we're playing that chord, okay, so there's 4 notes in this chord, right? So now you're wondering, where are the other 2 notes, as I'm only playing 2 notes? Well, that E flat I'm going to be playing in the bass, and the A in this chord I'm playing with my left hand. Okay, so in my left hand I'm going A, G flat, A flat, F, G flat, E flat. So. Okay, and then that last chord, and people will say, hey, that's the 5 chord. That's not the 5 chord. It's really the 1 chord, but it's 5, but you're playing the 5 in the bass, okay? Because it's part of the chord, of the 1 chord. 1 chord being D flat major. So we're playing that 5, the 5th degree there, okay? So let me do it one more time. And so we're gonna go with my left hand. A, G flat, A flat, F, G flat, E flat, then land on that F, okay? Because we're going like there, okay? So together, all right, and I'll just do it without the pedals, just left hand and right hand, right? So let's say if you were on keys, like that's what it will be, all right? So in my right hand, there we go. So right hand, D flat, G flat, A in the left. So now in my, so the next one, A, E flat, G flat. So like I said, I'm playing the same chord. I'm just switching notes, okay, in the chord. But I'm still playing. But I'm just like the exercise, okay? So that's the first one. Now, next one, which is the D diminished. So I'm playing B, F, A flat, then A flat, D, F, then going A, E flat, G flat, to the G flat, A, E flat, okay? So with the pedal, you're just literally walking up from the 2 to the 5. Boom, 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 boom. So let's put everything together. Okay, and so real quick, I noticed that I did something. So I was telling you to go here, which you can do for that for that one chord, right? That that where you land, you can actually do this, okay? Just to keep in line with what we've been doing. So that last chord that we're gonna land on. So instead of this, we're going here, okay? Same chord, different voicing. So from the top to the bottom, A flat, D flat, F on the bottom, okay? Here again, it's still the one chord. It's just a little more spread out, and I'm playing the 5th degree in the bass. So there'll be a one chord. It will be the second inversion. Okay, so all right, and that's how we crawl. All right. There we go. All right. So instead of when when you're doing that passage, right? There we go. And so that's another way to do the crawl. That's another way to apply it. All right. So hope y'all enjoyed that video. I got more coming, so stay tuned.